Episode 2.
So you think you want to be married?
So you think you want to be married?
They think they want to be married, babe.
I don't.
Welcome to our podcast. This is season 1, episode 2, up, 2, down, VA, baby.
You got to stop doing that.
No. This is how you were last episode. And now that I am in my right feelings, it's time for me to take up the cloth and do it this episode.
We're banding 2 up and 2 down.
Father God, in the name of Jesus, we bad and break that spirit off of the man of God right now.
Wow.
Hi, everybody. So we are the Crawleys. I am Michelle, and this is my amazing husband.
Talk about it. What about?
My amazing. See, I want y'all to know when I tell people that I love them, I'm not just saying I love you. Like, it's a lot that goes into what I'm saying. And so, like, when I say my amazing husband, it's a lot that I'm saying in that. I can't say it up here on the podcast, so you have to read in between the lines. But I mean, I'm talking about, you're amazing. You know, I'm talking like, baby, I'm amazed by you. You know, I'm talking about like,
okay,
you're amazing. You know, so
okay, that's good.
I just got to give them the PG version. You know,
there's something about your hands on my body.
You need to put a little bit more breath in that.
Body. Listen, yo, episode 2. We're back with So You Think You Want to Be Married. This is a very encouraging podcast. We just want to talk about all things marriage, whether it's sex, effective communication.
That's right.
Miscommunication, understandings, misunderstandings, and everything in between.
Everything in between. We want to be as transparent as possible.
Absolutely. We're just going to talk about our story. We're going to talk about your story, because marriage takes work. Marriage takes work.
It does.
It is a 24-hour job, but that doesn't mean that it has to be a hard, impossible job. I think sometimes we make it sound like that. Even with the title, So You Think You Want to Be Married, that may make you question. You're like, do I really want to be married? But Scripture says it's not good that a man should be alone. So I want to be married, right? And the operative word there is I want to be married. If I didn't want to, then I wouldn't put in the work every day to stay married. If I didn't love this woman that was beside me, if I didn't care about her needs, then I would do a whole lot of other things to not make this be successful.
So the key is, first of all, do you even like that person? Do you care about how they feel? You know,
absolutely.
Do you care about making them happy? That's what it sounds like to me.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
Okay. Well, first of all, let me acknowledge that there is no filter.
There is.
I don't have on any makeup. So,
no AI.
So you can see that,
you still look good.
Oh, babe, thank you.
You're the most beautifulest woman in this room.
The what? The most what?
Beautifulest woman in this room.
I love you so much. My baby daddy. Okay, so yes, I just want to acknowledge that really quickly, okay? And I don't even have on large earrings, just these little, studs, and you know what I'm saying? I do got some lashes on, praise God, but
you look fine, beautiful.
Oh my, do you see this hyperpigmentation going on? You see it? Is that a scratch on the screen? Okay, never mind. So anyway, so like hubby was saying, there's a lot of work that has to go into the marriage. All right,
Absolutely.
So let's go ahead and get started and talk about this thing. So the question of the day is...
Question of the day.
Can you express your wants, your beliefs, your goals, your hopes, and your plans, your passions without World War III breaking out?
Wow. So
Come on,
that means,
all my married people, let me hear y'all talk about it, okay? I want to know what you have to say.
Can you express your wants, beliefs, hopes, goals, and dream plans without World War III breaking out? That can be easy and that can be tough.
Not in this house, baby. Let me tell you something. We have more heated discussions than the commentators on ESPN. Okay? In our house, 24/7 is like straight up Oprah, The View. Okay, it ain't no Jerry.
No, it's not.
It was Jerry. Like one time in the beginning of our relationship, and then we was like, nah, we don't want to go to jail. We don't want to lose everything, so we're gonna cut it right here. We have to cross this line. That was good.
That was good. That was good.
So now, but I'm telling, we be like, what's another show?
Maury? It's not Maury.
Like on the reality shows, like they act like they're gonna fight and stuff, but they don't really,
They ain't gonna really do that. It's all for the camera.
Let me tell you something.
So
we have really hard conversations.
we do. Because you got to be able to handle your spouse's truth.
You gotta communicate.
Right?
You can't just
It's
push
their
everything
truth.
under the rug.
It's their truth, so you can't be upset of their perception of something. And oftentimes that's where the miscommunication comes from, because you can perceive a thing a certain way, and then as you're expressing that, I can't be mad at you for perceiving it that way,
can't take it personal.
or seeing it through your lens. One of the things said, can you express your beliefs? If you believe that, then okay, that gets tough. That gets tough because now I'm trying to figure out why you feel the way you feel, why you think the way you think.
That's
and then
tough.
I try to make you think the way I think. And so that's
Come
where
on
the
here. Real
miscommunication comes from, because your spouse, your fiance, your boyfriend, girlfriend, the way they think comes deeper than the time that they've known you. Right? I've known Michelle for a long time, but a lot of what she knows comes before I even came in the picture. A lot of what she thinks, her foundation has already been laid. So a lot of her beliefs is going to come from that foundation. And I really don't have the right, well, it depends on the topic, but I don't have the right to change that foundation. So that causes some miscommunication, and that's something I have to work on. Allowing her to believe what she wants to believe and allowing her to be who she is without it being an issue, right?
So if you plan to be married, know this though, things are going to come to full circle and the tables will turn.
What does
And
that
I remember my mom telling me that in our early years of marriage.
My mom telling me that.
I was venting to her, right? And
That was real, y'all. That was real.
I was venting to her, and I remember living in our old house, and I was venting to her, and she was like, Michelle, it's gonna be okay. The tables will turn, and I really didn't know what that meant. I was like, what you mean the tables gonna turn? I mean, it's like, and then when I think back, it was like you in the wrestling ring, and you be like, the tables will turn. That's all right. The tables will turn. That's how I look at it now. And let me tell you all, it is a fact. See, this woman had been married already for some years. So she already been married like 20 some years. So she already knew that what goes around comes back around again. So whatever it was that Pastor Eric was or wasn't doing right, see, what happened is I've learned if I just stay in the ring, sooner or later, the tables will turn. Okay, so that's why I smile today. Can you wink
are you
with both
smiling
eyes?
because of get back? Is that why you're
I'm
smiling?
smiling because I didn't give up. I'm smiling because it is a fact. Like if you just hold out, stick it out, shut your mouth, close your mouth. That was one of my hardest things to do, was keep my mouth closed. Close your mouth. Don't say anything. Just let it work itself out. The tables will turn. But also I want to say to what you were saying earlier, I want to add to that. It's not necessarily like a bad thing all the time. If you have this mindset of like, not necessarily trying to change your spouse, but when you want better for the other person,
Absolutely. Yeah.
like you just gotta, it's okay to express, hey, I see you in this, or I see you doing this, or like when you're pushing them and stuff to do better or to be better, it's okay, but they may not receive it right then. They may take it personally or take it like as a hit, like a attack or whatever like that, or you try to belittle them or whatever, because really you grow up, you have to mature in relationships, right? But a lot of that sometimes is a good thing, but you have to give the other person time to receive it and grow into it.
Yeah. I can't take it personal because you are, or you can't take it personal because I'm in a space right now and you're pushing me forward and I don't see it yet.
And
But you have to
sometimes,
give
right?
them
If I can,
time to grow. Yeah.
man, you took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Sometimes I may can see it and you can't, or you can see it and I can't.
Yeah.
You just got to give them time.
Give them time to grow.
Like if you demonstrate it and you just like keep talking about what you see to encourage that seed that you're planting and help it grow, then that will see, I almost took that personally. Then that will I love it.
We on here looking like Friday night service, testimony service. Holy mics.
Yo, funny. Funny, for real.
Come on, testify, say.
Yeah, babe, you gotta get us a mic stand so I can just put the mic like that. You know, they have it on, you know, like that, you know. Don't have it like this. They be having their mouth right up on.
Right on it.
But
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So things will come to full circle. Just hang in there. And you don't have to like
And another thing too.
you don't have to respond to everything.
I guess to piggyback on that question, when it says, can you express your wants, hopes, beliefs, goals, plans, blah, 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 right? Without breaking out into World War III. Make sure that your plans or your goals is not going to put an unnecessary strain on the relationship.
Well, come on here then. My God.
There are going to be some things that's going to, like, you're going to have to work to get through. Y'all going to have to get through it together. Even though it may be your
church
goal.
organ right now behind you.
It may be your goal, but your spouse may have to help you through it, push you through it. There's some work involved. There's some long nights. There's some tough conversations. But it shouldn't be to the point where everybody's walking on eggshells. You don't want to talk to each other about it. And it's gotten to the point where that goal or that aspiration has separated the house, because a house divided can't stand. So there has to be some compromise. There has to be some synergy. There has to be a time where, okay, if this is going to take us out of who we are, then maybe it's not what is really for us. Because even though you may have some individual goals, if you're married with a family, that goal should push the entire family. Go ahead and go. That's it. That goal should push the entire family forward into your destiny.
Come on.
So yeah,
for you to
that takes a lot.
You know, felt like doing this podcast tonight. You are really dropping some gems, baby.
I'm really not.
Yes, you are. I mean, this is good.
I'm not. Well, praise God.
So sexy.
No.
Your eyes, like really, like the light. You know, like what I always say, like be outside.
Is it hidden? Is it hidden right?
Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah. Your eyes are very, very handsome.
Stop.
You blushing.
Stop.
I can tell when it's a real blush. I can tell when it's a real blush.
Anyway, but yeah. So that's just what I
in our house, I'm gonna tell you something. It's war, baby. War. We are Sparta. One thing about me though, I am a communicator.
Yes.
I heard all of that in you. I am a communicator, and I think most females are. And okay, so my family.
That's not maybe.
Okay. Well, in my family, even the men, we have no problem with sitting down and talking it out, just breaking it down, without people getting upset or offended. You know what I'm saying? We can call each other out and in the same sentence be like, yo, you tripping. You know what I'm saying? Then we'll go on and move on with like that. We let them know we present accountability and then we keep it moving. So when I got with my husband, it may have taken some time, for him to smooth it out and understand my grind. I was just trying to get us there, out of that hole, trying to build us up, so we can be on the high. But so
we banning that too. You can never try to rap again.
I feel good.
Now you can do that.
Good. Okay, so I'm a communicator. I love to talk things out. I mean, break it down. I love to get to the nitty gritty, as they say. I like to get to the root of the thing, and that is uncomfortable. And for men do not like to do that because men statistically are more prideful, are more egotistic. And did you know statistics actually show that men are most narcissists. There are a majority of men that are narcissists than women.
I can see that.
Did you know that?
can
I
see
did not
that.
know that.
I can see
Because I'm gonna tell you something. Women can be manipulative. So I would not have put that together. So like I was saying, and men a lot of times do not like to address the root. Because a lot of times when we communicate, like we found out early on in our marriage, that a lot of what we like would fuss and argue about really wasn't the issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember Pastor Eric would get upset. And then once I had learned that and realized that now, once I had that aha moment and I would bring it to his attention, he would get so offended and so upset. And be like, stop saying what I'm arguing about is not really what I'm mad about.
But let me jump in there because
Jump in there.
sometimes
Introduce yourself.
now I have learned to be a better communicator. I will say that I've learned to be a better communicator, but sometimes
Oh, I'm just talking. Oh, yeah, definitely. You are, baby.
I think sometimes
You graduated.
your root is not really the root. So I think sometimes as we're going through, you want it to be this. Because I can tell during the course of the conversation what you're trying to get to, and I'm thinking during the conversation is like, that's not what it even is.
But you know what he hasn't learned yet?
But
He
it's
hasn't
like-
learned that I'm getting to that to get to something else.
I think it's like you're trying to get me to say this is what it is. I'm like,
Well,
no, I'm not going to say that because that's not what it is.
that could be the case
Uh-huh.
if that's your perspective. But a lot of times I'm trying to get him there because in order for us to get to what I'm trying to get him to, we have to get there first. And he tries everything in his power to not get past that, to get to the root. I'm telling you. Because, see, that's where you're really going to have the hard conversation. Because, see, that's when you pluck on the heartstrings at. That's where you really hit the issue, the issues. And you know, men face a lot in the world. You know, first of all, when they get up every morning, they face themselves. And that's a lot. So, being a wife, you really have to take all of that on and know how to humble yourself as a wife and nurture them and care for them so that they can trust you with their truth, like you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
And I had to learn that. It took me a while. I had to learn that he had to be able to trust me with his truth so that he could open up and get to like the root of things or whatever.
That's true. That's true. And I think, and I'm a paraphrase it. I'm not going to say it exactly like he said, but I believe it was Chris Rock that said the reason men have to face so many things is because we're always loved with conditions. If we don't crush our goals, then I'm not saying you. This is how you treat me.
Oh no, I didn't take it like that.
If we don't crush our goals on a daily basis, then we're considered not a provider. If we don't be the protector throughout the course of the day, then we're considered not the protector. If we're not the leading the family into worship, then we're not true worshipers. If we're not praying hard enough, if we're not bringing home and figuring out how the bills are going to get paid, you know, we're loved with conditions. So we have to face our own self, but we also have to face the fear of failure throughout the course of the day, throughout the course of the week. Women have to face the same things too, but it's on a different scale. We're considered just less than or weak, so we have to take on all of that every day before we can even decide how to communicate. We have to figure out, okay, am I good enough to take on my day? And men don't want to talk about stuff like that. Out of all that I have to do throughout the day,
You got to affirm yourself every day, all day.
Yeah, can I be vulnerable and open myself up, but at the same time be strong?
Yeah.
And
yes, you can.
still be respected amongst my peers, amongst when
Your
I'm
wife,
dealing with
your
my
children.
children,
Yeah.
when I'm dealing with people that are above me, you know what I mean? People that work for me, people that I lead or whatever. So there's a lot to take on throughout the course of the day. And just to piggyback on what you were saying. And that's even before we even start communicating, figuring out how we're going to communicate, what we're going to say. How can I express my goals? How can I express my beliefs? How can I express my plans if I failed the last time, or I feel like I failed the last time, or if the conditions that have been put on a man have not been met, then will my family follow me or believe that this next plan is going to work? You know? Yeah, so we go through that.
Y'all need to
on a
share
daily.
this with men.
We go through that on a daily.
All your male family members, all your male friends, all your male, whoever you're friends with on these social media platforms, please share this podcast with the males, because my husband is dropping them tonight, okay?
You know what, you silly.
He is opening up his heart, and he is sharing some good stuff.
But you said you have to. It has to be daily affirmations. First and foremost, when we wake up, we have to face our God, and we have to.
That should be enough. However,
you have to say, God,
then you face yourself.
I know you created me, right? I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, and first of all, I don't want to disappoint you,
God, because I know who you are and you made me. I feel like I'm kind of failing.
Yeah. So give me the strength. Give us our daily bread. That's what Scripture says. That's what Jesus told the disciples to pray. Give us our daily bread.
Yeah.
Give us the things just give me the stuff that I need today, right? Tomorrow's going to take care of itself. That's the word.
Yeah.
Just give me the strength to make it through right now, to come out of my prayer closet, to tackle the rest of my day, and be able to, I'm going to say bring home the bacon, but not necessarily bring home the bacon, but bring home something that my wife and my kids and again, my peers and my leaders, my followers, whoever can be proud of or yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This is so good. I'm telling you, like.
Give us our daily bread and forgive our
So,
trespasses. Yeah.
Fun fact.
Fun fact. Oh, we're switching over to the fun fact.
Couples that marry between the ages of 28 and 32 are more likely to stay together for the long haul. Now, this is not actually a fun fact, but it was a fun reading that we read up on statistic. I don't think it's really the credibility there wasn't really.
Yeah, it's not really a fact.
It's kind of like just like for conversation or whatever to see what you think. So tell me, what do you guys think? Do you believe this to be true? I mean,
I
don't think so.
I think
First of all, they're not getting married.
So
no, I'm not going to say that.
I think it's close to being true, because once you start coming out of your 20s, you go into your 30s, you start to realize some of the mistakes that you made, and you're still not quite, this is not all-encompassing statement, but you're still not quite there, but you're trying to get there. So I think once you're reaching that age, there's a level of maturity that you can say, okay, I'm ready to stop playing games now, okay? I've done this, I've done that, and I see what that got me. That just got me, a couple of different relationships. And
I don't think age has anything to do with it now.
It's a level of maturity.
I think I think years ago, like before the 2000s, you had a better chance of getting married then and staying together, versus now you are comparing yourself to so much that you're exposed to.
Yeah.
And like you're taking in all of this information from this place and that person, and it's like it's so much to the point where you don't even know what reality is and what to expect in a human being.
Yeah.
Like, the things that we know now, we didn't know half of these things that we knew when we got together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All we knew was that we were best friends.
Yeah.
We knew we wanted to make each other happy. We knew we wanted to build a family together. You know what I'm saying? We didn't even know anything about like saving money and building up your credit score and stuff like that, which we
Right.
found out shortly after we got married. That was a blessing. However, all this knowledge and stuff that we know, like it took us years to get to where we are. But I think because people have so many different, like they're like a little puppet, so many strings pulling them, Facebook pulling you, Instagram pulling you, and Twitter is pulling you, and reality shows is pulling you, you know what I'm saying? And then you have all these different apps now and things like that. I think you have so many strings pulling your arms, your legs, your nose, even what you're smelling, your mouth, your eyes, your ears, everything. Then now you're like, I don't know what I want in a man. I don't even know what I want in myself. And then you think you know, and then you don't even realize that you're choosing a false reality.
Yeah.
Like you're choosing someone that you feel, oh, they're on my level and they're gonna push me into my destiny. They're going to run you down.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
They're going to run you down, take all of your money, okay? Give you some bad children to raise, all because of what you saw with your eyes. And you were not in the Word of God. You were not listening to your woman and man of God as they were counseling you, as they were telling you, hey, I don't think this is a good idea. You all need premarital counseling, all of these things. And this is not for everybody, but I'm telling you, this is just what we see.
Yeah. Yeah. And I said this on the last episode, and you said it. Like,
This is not for everybody.
People are eating from so many different tables.
So many different tables
that
they're creating this false reality.
Yeah, they don't know what they want, but then they say, well, if there are going to be hard times in marriage, I don't have to put up with that. So I'm just not going to deal with it.
Like they just take off the boxing gloves and be like,
yeah,
I'm good.
And even the hard times that we've had, right? I'm glad we had those times because, again,
Definitely.
After I've had a long day at work, like, I love coming home to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me too. Coming home to Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and Snapchat and whatever else, looking at other people talk about marriage or other people talk about how happy I am because I'm free, that ain't doing nothing for me. I need something to touch on, And I'm not saying that because I'm not saying everybody that's single is miserable.
No. No.
That's not what we're saying at all. But
you're probably the happiest person.
But you silly. But you said it. We've created this false sense of reality.
Yes.
When it comes to
relationships,
and then we become bitter. So then we become to the point where we say we don't need anybody. I wish we would stop saying that.
Creating a lie.
Yeah.
The enemy is deceiving us.
Yeah.
Even when it comes to our relationships with our children, even when it comes to relationships with our parents or our coworkers, it's like nobody wants to stand up to the plate and say, hey, I'm willing to go to bat for my family. I'm willing to fight for my family and say, hey, I am going to put aside all of my feelings, all of my opinions and everything. And I'm going to humble myself and say, hey, no.
You said humble myself.
Humble myself. Humble myself and say, I'm willing to do the work. I'm willing to close my mouth and do whatever I got to do so that my family can be healed, my family can be whole, my family can be saved. Because I want you all to know this is the purpose for this podcast. This podcast is for the whole family. If you go back and watch our first episode, which was the one right before this one, the topic was, I believe it was marriage, relationships, families, and individuals. Okay. When we speak, we're speaking for the whole person. The whole person. Like, it's time for us to put aside our selfish ways.
Yes.
And our selfish mindsets. Like this getting the bag and all this stuff right here. You're not going to be happy.
Yeah.
If you don't put God first, I'm telling you, you can have all the money in the world. You are not going to be happy if you do not have God.
Yes.
And have him for real.
Yes. That's good. That's good.
And every day I've been like, for a long time now, I've been thinking about that. I know what it is to have. I know what it is to not have. Because first of all, it doesn't take much for me anyway. I just
thank you, Jesus.
I'm not a materialistic person. I know I got this shirt on and I got it probably off the clearance rack or whatever like that, and it's cute, at the boutique or whatever. But anyway, I'm just not that kind of person. I like nice things. I like to look cute, but I'm not going to be spending money on stuff and just no, that's not me. And I know everybody's different. If that's you, that's you. And that can be you. And you still have a prayer life. You still have a relationship with God where you and God, y'all like this. Okay. And I'm learning now that you can have it and not have it. You can experience different things, but if you don't have God, I'm telling you, if leave a legacy for your kids that they can have for life.
Yeah.
And it's not money. You want to leave them a peace of mind. You want to leave them, they need to know what it is to be content. They want to know what it is to save money. They want to know what it is to grow their own food, to be able to change their tire, change their oil. They need to know what it is to spray wash their sidewalk or their house or do their own, just take care of their own selves. And they need to know what it is to eat healthy, to eat right, to exercise, they need to know what it is to the internet is draining our ability to have small talk communication, and how you doing? What you got going on in your life? Where do you work at? What do you do in your job?
Yeah, I think if the most interesting thing you can think to talk about is something you saw on social media, then where is your original thought? What are you thinking about during the course of the day? What are you actually reading? What are your, like what we talked about, hopes, dreams, plans, goals, aspirations? It has to be more than the latest hot topic that you saw on your news feed. Now, some of that stuff is interesting and entertaining.
It's good conversation, yeah, but it shouldn't be your...
Yeah, that shouldn't be your driving point for every conversation.
Right.
Because frankly, and I said this the other day, even when it comes to social media, a lot of times we end up fussing with people that we haven't seen in 30 years about somebody who we'll never meet, right? So we're all in the comments. We got 373 comments on one post to somebody you haven't seen since high school. And then that drives your entire day. And now, because you had this long conversation on social media, 373 comments, and now I got to share this with my spouse, who really don't care about that topic anyway. But now I'm offloading all this stuff from all these other spirits that I just dealt with on social media about somebody we don't even know or don't care about us.
We're really avoiding real life conversations.
Yeah, exactly.
We're really avoiding the fact that our kids are in school acting like they don't have any home training.
Yeah.
Like we do not discipline them.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And we're trying to avoid the responsibility. We're trying to avoid
that thing got good
the responsibility of our part in the world.
My God.
Like we would rather comment, like you said, all these comments so that we don't have to accept our responsibility in the whole thing. Let's talk about when we parked the van the other night and the young man, when we came outside,
Oh, yeah.
Can you start off with that? Then I want to come in and say how I felt about that.
Okay, so we
bring it to full circle.
We went to a apartment complex, just visit one of the saints at our from our church, and when we first pulled up, we saw him, and obviously we both noticed, didn't say anything, but we both knew he was out there, whatever. Then there were some other young men sitting on the front side of the apartment complex on the stoop. So we walked in, did what we did, had some prayer, did some talking. We were probably in there maybe 5-10 minutes. And as we came out, we saw this young man walking from around the back of our van, looking inside, right? And so I said,
the only vehicle right there,
right.
We purposely parked,
right?
Isolated our vehicle.
Yeah, so I said, hey man, what you doing? I can't remember exactly what I said. Hey man, what you doing looking at my van? He said, oh no, I'm just looking at a reflection of myself.
Out.
I said, oh, that's mine, man. Hey, my name Eric, and what's your name? And he gave me, and I gave him a fist bump, and he walked on away or whatever. I had the blicker due on me though. Just to let you know, I had that blicker.
Stop telling people that.
Stop telling people that. Okay.
Yeah, this is my thing.
Yeah, get to the point
I
of why
was
you
so
wanted to bring it up. Yeah.
upset. You want to know who I'm upset with? Whoever has been responsible for this young man his entire life.
Yeah.
From the beginning up until now. Y'all, when we pulled up, I already discerned. Right? So when we
ain't been on for a long time.
Well, your voice it projects anyway, so you're loud.
Picked it up.
You don't think so?
It might have picked it up on yours. Well, go ahead.
And so when we parked, I was just gonna let Pastor Eric go inside, and I was gonna stay in the van because this is what I'm feeling from this young man, but I'm not verbalizing it with my husband. And so I said, you want me to go inside? And he was like, I'm not gonna let you stay here by yourself, whatever like that. And I was like, okay, all right, but this is what I am feeling on the inside. I'm just not communicating it. I'm already discerning this about this young man. Y'all, I'm telling you, lost. His face, lost. Okay? And I could see that. I am mad at everybody who should have said something, who should have, I don't know this young man. I don't know his story. I don't know. But clearly, there's something lacking. There's something missing, something broken. We can't make up excuses and say, well, you don't know. No, I don't know. But this is what I do know. I do know that I can't raise my kids by myself. I know that I need my help from my mama, my daddy, my sisters. And I made that very plain from the very beginning. And I tell people, if you see my child doing something, say something. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to allow the enemy to try to put in us this mentality, you can't say anything to my child. That is a trick of the enemy. Mm-hmm. The enemy don't care nothing about your child.
That's right.
The enemy is doomed for hell for eternity. And he's trying to take any and everybody, as many as he can with him. So I know I'm wise enough to realize that is a trick of the enemy. So I told my husband, I said, I'm mad at society. I'm mad because this man is lost and he needs help. Look what he's doing out here. You could tell his whole posture and everything, you could tell was about their life. You could tell. Mm-hmm. And Pastor Eric, he, later on, he was like, I feel like I should have witnessed to him,
I should have.
And I was like, we going to the next level, baby.
Yeah, I believe that was a missed opportunity because I was so fleshly upset.
Yeah.
But I should have taken that opportunity to introduce Christ to him, whether he received it or not.
Exactly.
I believe he's a person that needed love at that moment, right? He probably was really a person that needed a hug at that moment. But it's like I probably can't hug this young man because I don't know what his plan is.
Right. Right.
So you have to be wise and smart in all things.
You do.
But yeah.
You have to watch and pray.
I agree. It makes you upset that he has this mind. He's a young man too. He's probably, if he's not in his 20s.
Probably about 19.
Yeah, 19, 20.
17, between 17 and 19.
Yeah. So whoever had a hand in his past and his present.
Should have put a hand on him.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's really...
It was hurtful, tough. And this is the reality, So that's another reason why we're doing this podcast, because y'all, we need each other.
Yes.
We can't keep saying, we can't be saying what we're saying and we're not taking action. It takes a village.
Yes.
I'm
just looking at the focal point. So switching gears, because we're gonna wrap this up here in just about 32 more seconds.
We are. So speaking of raising children. Mm-hmm. Tough conversation for this week.
Tough conversation for the week. How are we going to discipline our children?
This is a conversation you should have before you get married.
Not only with the kids that you have together, but when it comes
blended
families. And I'm glad a lot of men and women don't use the term stepchildren. If you're raising them, that's your child, right? And I don't know a lot about that world. So...
about blended families.
I don't know a lot about blended families.
Personally, right.
I did have older brother that we didn't grow up with. I didn't find out about him until I was much, much older, already an adult. So I don't know a lot about that world, but I do know that even if someone is not, you don't have the same mother and father, whatever, still embrace that sibling. I can't say that with no reservations.
That's
because
right.
just like I didn't ask to be here, my sibling didn't ask to be here. So it's not their fault. I don't have to be jealous or mad that he was born first or whatever. Or that's just, to me, that's
Immature.
That's immature. That's silly. And above all, embrace each other, love on each other. And for parents, I will say this: when it comes to disciplining your children, whether it's the blended family or
if you come into a blended family and the kids are older, you want to definitely be careful about corporal punishment.
Yes. Yeah, and you need to discuss that on the front end.
Yeah.
Because don't wait till that spouse get, and I'm gonna just use the term stepson or stepdaughter just for the lack of a better term. Don't wait till
bonus
that
child.
That spouse is about to discipline that bonus child, and then you jump in, or you correct your spouse in front of the children, because then that breeds resentment. It breeds a lack of respect, and then again, that's when a house is divided. So y'all need to have that conversation on the front end. And I'll tell you, it's even hard with our 3 children, and they're all mine, right? We don't have any. We don't have a blended family, but sometimes I cringe when Michelle disciplines the boys, right? So I know it's even tougher when it's a blended family, but I had to learn. I had to learn that
you had to learn.
She
to
has
trust.
their best interest at heart.
Right.
Yeah, she's going to make the right choice. And if not, hey, we can discuss that.
Yeah.
And if it's something that we discuss and we figure out, okay, this was probably a better course of action, then we'll fix that. But I had to learn not to do it in front of them, because that's not helpful.
Do what now? You have to learn what not to do in front of them?
I ain't got to say it again. I've already said it twice.
I think somebody out there might need to hear that again. That was
good.
They
heard it. They can rewind.
Because a lot of things we should not do in front of our kids.
Yeah, they can rewind. But no, seriously. Yeah, and vice versa.
Yeah, I can't get mad
Yeah.
at you. Now, if you like abusing them, knocking them upside the head, locking them up in the closet,
right? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Starving them, that's abuse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But let me tell you something. If you do not discipline them kids,
if you don't discipline them, the world will.
I'm laughing to keep from crying.
Yeah.
That's why I'm laughing. I'm laughing to keep from crying.
If you don't discipline them, they're going to be somebody else's nightmare.
Something or someone else is going to parent your child.
Yeah. And
it could be another child that parents your child.
And if you haven't disciplined them, then you can't get mad when the teachers or administrators at school discipline them. And then run up to the school.
Help us.
And act like your child is innocent. You know your little Crondrerion be breaking stuff.
Yeah, and little Bobby J.
Yeah. Don't be don't run up to the school, act like they're an angel, and you know they you cuss. So you know they're gonna go to school cussing.
You listen to music with hard cussing in it while they're around you. And then when you get a call, they in 3rd grade, you get a call and the teacher says that they were in the bathroom cussing like a sailor, and you're like shocked.
Right.
I don't know who they got it from. I don't know.
Listen, I saw a parent, an administrator told the parent that the son said a bad word. And I saw the mother cuss the child out. I'm like, hold up. Discipline goes a long way. So you have to discipline your kids, whether it's now it really is taking things away from them that they care about. Back in the day, it was just straight corporal punishment, whoopings, and
well, first of all, punishment now is different.
Yeah.
Like I tell my kids, y'all don't know what real punishment is.
Yeah.
Like we'll take away their cell phone, they still got their TV. We take away their TV, we look, they still got their Chromebook, from school.
So you have to take all electronics away.
So like if I get really, really like, I'd be like, all right, I'm doing a 90s punishment, and I make sure I take everything.
Yeah.
And if they want me to do an 80s, I'm gonna plug the internet.
Yeah.
Stop playing with me.
Yeah.
Like no car, no nothing. Okay, walk, take the bike or scooter, because they have so much.
Yeah.
And then you have other kids out here who don't have as much as them, and they're living a life of just being grimy.
Yeah.
And then like it's just so much with that, you know. It's just it's a lot, and it's time for us. If we don't straighten out, we're gonna lose our generation. But we're not, because we're gonna straighten up and get ourselves together and do what we got to do.
That's right.
So yeah, so how we discipline our kids, and even if you are marrying someone and their kids are like, oh, magic, gold, butterflies, you still need to sit down and have a conversation
Yes.
about discipline, because
Yes.
kids can switch up on you in a heartbeat.
And I'm glad you said that. And don't let the kids manipulate.
Don't let them. Watch the Cosbys.
turn-
Just go watch the Cosbys.
Don't let them make you guys be against each other. Turn
other.
against each other.
That's right.
And they'll do it. They'll do it. They'll ask
To
one
the day
question.
they die,
Then
do
they'll
it.
go and ask another one, the other question. No, don't do that. Don't allow the child to rule the house. And now we ain't talking because of little Billy Bob.
Sebastian.
No. Crispin. Listen, we give it to wrap this up, man. We love y'all, man. We
Thank
love
you all
y'all.
so much. This has
Yeah,
been
we love
so
y'all.
wonderful.
Yes.
We really appreciate your support and your love. Please share.
Share,
You know,
share.
and when you share, when you like, go ahead and comment. Let us know your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you. We love you guys. Marriage is work, but you can do it.
I'm sliding down.
Okay.
I'm getting so sleepy.
Yeah, I think so too. But you sexy though. I love being married to you.